What's going on?
Let's
Running
go.
routes, week 9. Like, follow, subscribe.
Let's
It's
go.
just gonna be me and Eddie on the show, or a man down with Brady. He's got dad issues, so he is out indefinitely this week.
Oh,
We
good.
will have some little picks from our free agent acquisition from a couple of weeks ago, Sam, and Brady's picks will be posted. Then you can follow along on that. As usual, give us your feedback, submit questions. We got your fantasy, we got your covering the spreads. We're honestly sitting close to 70% on our straight picks, on our spread picks, and player props are surprisingly hitting at a crazy rate. So if you don't know, now you know. And without further ado, let's get into these week 9 games. You ready, Ed?
Incredible. Let's get it.
They do it. All right, let's start it off in Germany, early Sunday morning. Great way to get the slate kicked off. We got the Finns at the Chiefs.
Let's go.
Lines at -2.5, over under 51.5. Bumped up a little bit. Massive meeting. First time Tyreek has played the Chiefs, if I am not mistaken, since he was dealt. So how you see this one falling
This
out?
one's this one's going to be very interesting. This is something you're definitely going to want to get up early in the morning for. You got the number 1 offense going up against the number 4 offense and the number 5 defense. Number 1 offense of the Dolphins going up against the number 5 defense of the Kansas City Chiefs. Very interesting. Number 4 offense for the Chiefs against Dolphins 20th ranked defense. This is, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't about ranked offenses. This ain't about ranked defenses. This is going to be about Tariq Hill and a lot of motion right now. You're going to see a lot of motion, a lot of Tariq Hill in this game. Waddle's questionable. This is going to be an incredible game. You definitely want to wake up for. I'm taking. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take the Dolphins plus the points. I'm going to take the. I'm going to take the over in this one. I took the under in the Titans Steelers game, and boy did I hit on the money. It was 36. The game was. It was the points were 36 and a half. I got it by a half. I just squeaked in there with the Steelers. Very interesting game. Very interesting game that was. I'm gonna take the Dolphins here. I think Tariq Hill ends up with the big playability and the lack thereof. Maybe say I'm hearing Jalen Ramsey covering maybe Travis Kelce's going to shadow him. We'll see how many plays that happens for. We're just talking about week 2 back from a crazy injury that could have ended his season this year, and he's back at it. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm going to take Dolphins with the points, and I'll take the over. I'm definitely going to take the over on this one. Something tells me that potentially it could be a high scoring game here. Potentially. How about you, Char?
Well, there were two things that kind of stuck out to me. Although Kansas City's defense is much higher ranked than Miami, the last 3 games, they're fifth worst against stopping the run. And we've seen in the losses for Miami, the team that shut down their run, a la Philadelphia and Buffalo earlier in the season, um, that put extra weight on the offense to throw the ball, and it just wasn't working out. So I thought that was interesting. I also thought red zone production. Miami, first overall, 74% at scoring touchdowns in the red zones. Kansas City, 50%. They rank 18th in the red zone. That's not really something you correlate with Kansas City normally, but this season has been a struggle for them. So, in taking that into account, I like the Dolphins. Um, I think it's going to be a very close game. Whenever you're talking about the Chiefs and Mahomes and Andy Reid, there's always the possibility. Obviously, they got a good kicker in Harrison Bucker. We saw it in the Super Bowl. There's always that door to be cracked for them to win it at the end. But I think Miami gets this one. I don't love the over or the under. I think it's pretty much set right there around the 51.
Right, right.
If I was arms twisted, I would probably go just a shade under 27, 24, 51 overall. But I got the fans on this one.
I really think I think if the Chiefs want to win this game, they got to win it with Trav. I think this has to be Travis Kelsey's game of the season. I think personally, if they're going to win this one, if they have the ability to win this one, I think that's what you're going to want to do. I mean, I honestly think that you know they could end up having Tariq Hill have a career day. We'll see what happens though. You know,
Miami's got significant, secondary concerns on the health side too, because you got Xavier Howard, he's questionable. You got Javon
yeah,
Hollins.
yeah,
I don't think he's cleared concussion protocol as well. So you're talking about a safety and a blue chip corner that you know that can play a big role in the passing game as well.
for sure, no doubt. The last meeting that these two faced each other, Kansas City won this 33-27, December 13th, 2020. The last time they played each other, so that's something to think about
Years ago.
as well.
Wow.
Very interesting. And the Chiefs were pretty high powered then, and the Dolphins were still trying to get it together. I don't know that they were as strong as they are 2 seasons ago as they are this year. So it's going to be a very interesting game, and you're definitely going to want to wake up here for the 9:30 here Sunday morning in Frankfurt.
Definitely worthwhile. Let's zoom ahead to the 1 o'clock games. So first one I got up is the Vikings. Kirk Cousinless going into Atlanta. Spread -5 from Atlanta. Over under sitting around 37. Obviously, it's going to be battle of two surprising quarterbacks at this point. You're going to have Taylor Heineke taking over in Atlanta, and you're going to have the rookie out of BYU Hall taking over from Minnesota.
You talk about Kirk.
How do you like this one coming up?
Yeah, I mean, this is a very interesting one with the rookie quarterback coming in, playing home in Atlanta in the dome. I don't know how much I like it. I think I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pick the Atlanta Falcons here. I'm just going to take the Falcons. I'm going to take the under. And I'm going to take the points. I think they win
You
by
gonna
a
drop the
touchdown.
points?
Yeah, I'm going to drop the
All right.
points. I
Well,
think
Atlanta's defense has played very well this season.
they have. They really have. They really have played good. You just don't know what you're going to get with this Minnesota team. I just don't know what I'm going to get, and they haven't been really running the ball well, and I don't know. They're not running the ball well, and if they just have to pass, the Falcons have a 14th ranked defense going up against a rookie. I mean, it's a pretty good defense. You would like it to be a little bit better. Plus, they're 10th. They're 10th against the rush. They're 10th ranked defense. I just think that this is going to be a tough game for the rookie to come out and win. And plus, the
Agreed.
yeah,
Agreed.
for me,
Grady Jarrett, though, on their D line is chipped up. He's going to be out. If I'm not mistaken, he's going to miss the rest of the season. So that's a major loss for them. They did make some moves at the trade deadline, securing some lower rated D tackles to bring in there. But that's something worth noting. Drake London as well for Atlanta is going to miss the game. So weapons cut down a little bit shorter on Atlanta's behalf. Um, I think for some reason the Vikings end up covering this though. And I wouldn't be surprised if they steal this one from Atlanta. I'm gonna go Atlanta as the winner at the end of the day, but I definitely like Minnesota in the points.
things going to be a lot
Atlanta,
closer.
I don't really know what I'm gonna get. And, I know what Taylor Heineke is, but he had much better weapons to work with, quite frankly, in Washington than he does right now with Atlanta,
Yeah,
especially minus Drake London. Obviously, the run game stout, but you're looking at Kyle Pitts as the only real breakaway option out there that's proven.
right.
Obviously, Matt Collins has had some splash games before, but that's not a guy that you're going to pencil him in and throw him in your starting lineup because Drake's not sitting there. So, I look at this. I like the offense that Minnesota's going to bring to the table. They have capable backs. And Jordan Addison has a very nice rookie campaign. You got Hawkinson, um, top 10 easily tight end. So there's options there for this kid if he can do it. Former backup to Wilson at BYU. We'll see what he's got. But for some reason, I like your play on the under. I think Minnesota figures out a way to keep this thing close, though.
Yeah, and the last time these teams seen each other, Atlanta won 40-23 against Minnesota, October 18th, 2020.
Another one from 2020.
Yeah, yeah,
All
interesting.
right, moving forward though.
What
We
do we
got the
got?
Cardinals at the Browns. Browns
Ah,
giving up 8 points on this one at home. Over under another low one at 37 and a half. Looks like the rookie Clayton Tune out of Houston is going to draw the start for the Cardinals. And I just read today that it looks like Deshaun is tentatively supposed to start for the Browns this week, which is a new addition just since I was looking at earlier in the week. How do you see this one playing out?
yeah, this is this
You
is
like
this is huge for the Browns, right? Because I mean,
you think?
Browns are this is huge for the Browns. I mean, Arizona's 1-7, and they're 0-4 on the road. They have not won a road game yet. They're still goose egg on the road. This will be in Cleveland Brown Stadium. This is massive for Cleveland if they're trying to make a push, and I don't mean to tush. Um, this is
Absolutely.
this is yeah, this is huge for them because I
Especially with
mean
Pittsburgh winning last night.
Pittsburgh wins last night against the Tennessee Titans, which
Bengals
was
red hot,
you know,
and the
Cleveland
Ravens
Browns are
win their
four
game.
and three. They're third in the division. Okay, they're a game behind Pittsburgh. They're 2 games behind Baltimore. It's a massive game here. They have to win. I think that if they can't beat Arizona, the real question is, do they deserve to be in the playoff contention or even talk of being in the playoffs at that point? So I take the Cleveland Browns here, easy peasy lemon squeezy. I take the Cleveland Browns here because this is a must win game. I take Cleveland on the over. It's a must win here, folks.
You think they're covering that 8?
I don't think they're covering the 8. I'm not taking the 8. I'm taking the over, but I won't take the 8. Because you just don't know what that defense is going to give you with Cleveland. How ferocious are they going to be? Is Myles Garrett going to show up? Sometimes I think they play like they're the Commanders there with the 16,000 first round draft picks on the defensive line, and sometimes they play like seventh round guys, and sometimes they play like first round guys. I don't know what we're going to get from this defense, so I'm going to say that I don't like them covering the 8.
I'm on the other side with that. I like the Browns. I like the Browns pretty handily against a rookie quarterback on the road, like you illustrated. Cards, 0-4 on the road this season. The Browns have played suffocatingly good, especially on defense at home this season. Obviously, you
Number
look back at
2.
the 49er game. Um, I like the Browns here. I think they cover. And you're right about deserving. Obviously, if they were to get snake bitten here by the Cards, that would be a bad situation for them, considering how well the Bengals, who are right on their heels, have been playing of late as well. But when we looked at this division, we did our playoff picture, predictions for the future. I think all three of us had three teams coming out of this division to make the playoffs. So
Yeah.
it's not really a gigantic surprise that the standings are looking the way they're looking, and this thing is all bunched up with a bunch of good teams. So I'll go Browns. I'll drop the points. Um, Moving forward to the Rams at the Packers, two teams kind of heading in different directions at this point in the season. Although the Rams did get kind of their nose rubbed in the dirt last week at Dallas, but you got the Rams going up the Lambeau to face the Packers. Packers dropping 3, over under of 39. And it looks like Stafford's still iffy for this game, which would mean Brett Rippon, who does have some starts under his belt in Denver, would draw the start in lieu of him not being there. How do you like this one?
Originally I thought the Rams were going to pull this one out, and then checking the injury report and seeing Puka Nakua's knee being an issue, and the throwing hand of Matthew Stafford, the thumb on the throwing hand, not the back, folks, not an elbow, the thumb now.
Working
Allegedly
his way down
is
the
is
extremities.
I mean, the guy's breaking down from all the extremities. I just think the toe is the only thing left that he hasn't He hasn't gotten yet. But the thumb on the throwing hand really got me. They're playing up in Green Bay. I got them written down. I already sent you the shot, so you already know that I had them chose. But I just think, barring the hand injury, I got to take the Green Bay. I got to take the Green Bay Packers here, minus the 3 points.
You're allowed to switch. This is where it gets set in stone.
I
So
I
ain't
I
nothing wrong with that.
I got to
I
I got to
too,
I got to
to be
switch.
fully transparent, at the beginning of the week, I liked the Rams getting the points.
So did I.
I think it was
Penciled
somewhere
in.
at 4.5 at that point in time because I liked what I had seen out of
Penciled in.
Brett Rippon previously. And I think McVay, similar to what O'Connell's going to be able to do up there in Minnesota, I think McVay can create a good enough offense for a young quarterback to navigate it. Look at what Baker Mayfield was able to do off of, pretty much the bus last year. So I think the Rams are going to be game, but coupling that with the running back injury, not having Kieran Williams in there either, Puka Nakua is a little banged up as well.
That
I
knee.
think this is a game that the Packers should win. I don't know if I'm willing to drop the three. The 3 points sounds about right at this point in
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
but I do like the Packers at home. Um,
Yeah.
the over under of 39 smells of an ugly game, but for some reason I like this like a 20-23 type of game. But I got to roll Packers.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll Packers, but I'm not gonna take Packers given 3. But I'm still taking the under because I just feel. Plus, the Green Bay's got the 11th ranked defense, so them boys are gonna come out and play
And the Rams don't seem to play as well on grass versus playing in the turf. Although you could
for
tell it
sure.
didn't matter at Dallas last week on the turf, but just with the gimmickry and the motions and all that stuff, like the Rams have always, at least in my eyes, been viewed as a still a greatest show on turf type of build that they've carried along with them, the way they execute their offense and stuff like that. So it's going to be a tough one up there in Chiefs country.
Quay Walker and Rudy Ford are basically the only ones questionable on the list. And the last meeting these two teams played each other in December 19th, 2022, Green Bay pulled it out 24-12. Green Bay. So something to think about moving forward.
Definitely want to see some better football from Jordan Love, though.
No
The
doubt.
guy that started out very nice
No doubt.
over these last 4 or 5 weeks has very much been on the struggle bus driving that thing. But we'll move forward. We
Yeah.
got the Commanders traveling north to face the New England Patriots. The line's at 3.5, over under 40.5. How you like this one coming out?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's tough right now, right? Because, I mean, didn't they just literally trade everyone away? I don't know. Did they? Didn't they just
Both of their
trade
ends,
Chase
Montez
Young
Sweat
and
and
Montez Sweat? They just traded them away. So, I mean, unless they got some guys over there that we just don't know about, that I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting game to watch. I still think both teams are going to show up and play. But I'm taking the under here. I'm taking the New England Patriots. I'm not going to take the Pats given 3.5, though. I don't like it. Just because both of these offenses are kind of like, yeah, I don't know what we're going to get. I don't know what I'm going to get from that offensive line. Are they going to let Sam Howell sit back there, drop back, and throw the ball? Because if so, then this is going to be an electric game, and it's going to come down to the defensive backs for the New England Patriots. Are they going to be able to stop Scary Terry and what the Commanders have to do? But I just don't think in the trenches the Commanders have the command. I'm sorry, and for that I'm taking the New England Patriots. And that's the way I see it here. Charlie, how about you, sir?
I too am going to roll with the home team. Bill Belichick still has great numbers against young quarterbacks, and I
Yeah,
don't think that this game's going to be much different. Although the Patriots are banged up, missing Judon, still on defense.
yeah,
They have started to generate more turnovers here lately, and they're playing to their strength, which is a lot of movable pieces in their secondary. and a lot of two-way players that can play D-line and linebacker as well. So I think they're going to do a good job. I mean, Sam Howell, I think he's been sacked over 40 times this year,
The most in the league.
putting him, oh, by far, putting him on like a David Carr type of trajectory back in the day with the Houston Texans. So that is not going to change too much facing the New England defense, I don't think.
Not
So
sustainable.
I borderline don't mind dropping the 3.5 here. I see it like 21-17, Patriots dub.
Taking over
Um,
the under.
I too like the under at the 40.5. I don't see both teams getting into the 20s in this one. I think the winner gets to the 20s, and I think that it's going to be the
That's who
home team.
wins. Yeah, yeah. No doubt. That's what I'm thinking.
Unless you got anything more, we'll bounce to the next one.
Nah, let's get it, baby.
Bears at Saints. Justin Fields still not clear to play. Saints dropping, I think it's up to 8 now.
Wow.
Started at 7.5. The over under is 41. How you liking this one to play out?
Yeah, I got to go Saints here. That defense is ferocious. It really is. And you're going to tell me that now that athleticism of Justin Fields is not back there. I'm sorry. That's a big question mark. You're going up against the ninth ranked defense, top 10 defense, top 10 offense, damn near ranked at 11. Whoever they got at quarterback is going to go out there and show up, and he can show out. Doesn't matter. I'm taking the Saints here. It's just the easy pick right here, right now. I'll take the Saints. I'll take the Saints given 8.5 with the under. I'll take the Saints.
I like the Saints dropping the points as well. I think the Saints are. I've said it for the past 2 weeks, and it's gradually looked like it's starting to come to fruition. Offense is going to continue to get better, and that defense just has to stay the same.
Yeah,
And I think the Saints are trending in that direction. Hopefully, the Bears see the Fields gives them a much better chance to win. Like I
yeah,
hope they take an appreciation from not having Justin Fields and there was a lot of talk about the Badgett kid, maybe you should put him in there before Fields had his couple of big games there, but um, he gives you an opportunity to win. And I don't think the Bears are going to have enough to stay with the Saints on defense, to stay with the Saints on offense. I like the over of 41. I think the Saints could get into the 30s, and I don't see the Bears getting into the 20s. So I don't mind dropping the points. Derek Carr has been very good the past 2 weeks. I believe over 300 yards passing. He's finally starting to throw touchdown passes as well. They've been much better in the red zone, which was a bugaboo of theirs at the beginning of the season. So I think the Saints handle business here.
yeah. The
And
last time these two seen each other, the New Orleans Saints won this game 21-9, January 10th, 2021.
another oldie. All right, moving forward might be one of the games of the day here, maybe overlooked by some of the bigger matchups, but Seattle Seahawks, top of the division,
Hmm.
going to Baltimore, top of the division.
Hmm.
Point spread's 5.5 right now. Ravens dropping 5.5, and over under at 43.5.
Yeah, I mean,
Which bird do you like?
yeah, it's Attack of the Birds, right? That's what this
Mm-hmm.
is the bird
Kaka,
off.
kaka, kaka.
It's the bird off right here. I mean, statistically, it's going to be a hell of a game. Statistically, because Seattle's defense is ranked seventh, and Ravens' offense is ranked 10th, and then Ravens' defense is ranked third, and Seattle's offense is ranked 21st. So it's going to be very interesting. The thing is it's going to boil down to one thing. It's going to be a hell of a game, right? And defensively, this hell of a game is, can Seattle stop the run? Seattle's seventh against the run. So
Been very good this year.
it's going to be a very interesting game. Okay, but I just think that Honor's going to hate me again. Shout out Ree. I'm taking the Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens at home. I'm taking the Ravens at home. I'm taking the over. Yeah, no, I'm taking the under. I'm taking the Ravens at home, and I'm not gonna drop the points because I think this is going to be a hell of a game, man. This could be a low scoring defensive of battle, but in terms of the X factor on both sides, like I just feel like the X factor for the Ravens, which is Lamar, is just really what is propelling me to make this decision as opposed to picking, Seattle because, I think they have the better chance of winning. I just think the X factor
Agreed.
for both teams is Lamar. You know what I mean? I mean, Seattle really doesn't. I mean, they got a stud corner, a stud rookie corner out of Illinois playing his mind out. And he can fly everywhere, behind the line of scrimmage. He's got the speed to chase Lamar down. I mean, it's really going to be a very interesting game in how Seattle tries to stop what the Ravens are good at, running the ball. The Ravens are really good at running the ball. You know what I mean? And Seattle is really good at stopping the run. But are they good at stopping running quarterbacks? And we're going to find out when this game gets played on who ends up winning this game. Because this is going to be a phenomenal game, man. And the last time these teams seen each other, 30-16, Baltimore reigned supreme. So I'm gonna stick with the trend here, and I think that Seattle pulls it out. How about you? I mean, the Ravens pull it out over Seattle at
Thought you were
home. No,
switching it up
at
at the last minute.
at home.
The thing that really sticks out to me is how well the Ravens defense is playing. I think on defense for Seattle, they can cause some problems for Lamar in that offense. But I think defensively, the Ravens are playing at a very, very high level. They're fast, they're good against the pass, they get to the passer, and they've been solid against the run as well. I think this one could be an under, it could be an over. I don't like the 5.5, but I definitely like the
Yeah,
Ravens game because they've got, like you mentioned, they've got the special pieces. And I think Mark Andrews, particularly, could play a very big role in this one. On the outside with the corners that Seattle has, they could definitely take away a lot of the options out there. But Mark Andrews on a linebacking core that's not at the height of their careers right now, I think that's a situation where Lamar and the Ravens can find some success. Um, I think it's going to be a very good game, but I like Ravens here as well. I got to go Baltimore.
no doubt.
Last 1 o'clock game, Tampa Bay traveling to Houston. Point spread 2.5. Houston dropping 2.5. Over under at 40. How you like this one?
Interesting. This is another interesting game. Um,
Hmm.
uh, Baker Mayfield's chipped up in this game. So that's really huge and playing a factor in my decision because I don't really like who's behind him. So if he can't go or halfway through the game gets chipped and can no longer go anymore, I think that's huge. So for me, I'm taking the Texans, giving the 3. I'm gonna take the over. If Baker doesn't get hurt, I think they can go over the 39 easily.
I like it.
How do you feel, Kev?
I I particularly, for some reason, I feel like Tampa is going to win this game. Um, I think Tampa's defense is going to give CJ some trouble. The way they like to blitz, the way they bring pressure at the quarterback, and the fact that Houston still doesn't have the run game that they had last year. I thought, coming into this season, that's why I was higher on CJ Stroud than I was on Bryce Young because he had Damian Pierce and what Pierce was able to do last year, having a little bit more balance with that. It hasn't been the case. It hasn't affected CJ too bad because he's put up fantastic numbers. But I think this is the type of game where you got to have balance and you got to be able to mitigate the strength of the other team, which Tampa is obviously the defense. I agree with you. I think there could be some points in this thing, but I think it's going to be a very close game. I'm gonna go Bucks here. Um, in a close one. At the very least, I'd take the 2.5 because I think that they can make this a close game.
No doubt. Yeah, I mean CJ's playing out of his mind right now.
He is. He's one interception on the year.
It's
That's
crazy.
spectacular football from a rookie.
He's making incredible decisions. Yeah, last time these two teams met, Tampa won it 23-16, but they didn't have CJ. It'll be interesting.
Move it over to the 4 o'clock games. First one up, Colts at Panthers. Panthers getting 2.5 at home. Over under at 44. How you like this one?
Colts at the Panthers, man. Listen, I'm taking the Colts. Um, yeah, I mean the Panthers have been probably as big of a disappointment this year as the Giants have been in my
They
eyes. I mean,
they've been game the past couple of weeks though.
ah, couple of weeks have been game. They got one win, bro. What are you talking about?
Only two less than the Colts.
Right, right. It's an attack of the attitudes in this game. Um, I'm taking the Colts because I got to pick a winner, right? I just think
Like
that
Uncle Rico.
I think the rosters I think the Colts end up taking this. I'll give the Colts given the 2.5. 44. I don't. Why'd I do that? All right, I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under.
You've been under heavy this slate.
Taking the under.
I'm on the other side of the fence with this one. I've liked what I've seen out of Bryce Young in the past 2, 3 games. Definitely got a good connection with Adam Thielen. I think they're going to be able to make a few more plays than your boy Uncle Rico and Gardner Minshew can over there in Indianapolis. If this game was in Indianapolis, I might probably side Colts, but I'm gonna go Panthers here on the upset, and I kind of like the over a little bit too.
Last time these two teams met, August 15th, 2021, Carolina lost to Indianapolis 21-18.
Should be a close one. Should be a close one. Colts have played phenomenally game all year long, coming out on the winning side sometimes. Obviously, they beat the Ravens early in the year, and sometimes coming up short. So we'll see how this one unfolds. It should be a close one.
No doubt.
Um, Next one we got up, your Giants
Ooh,
going to Vegas.
ooh.
Vegas getting a point and a half over under at 37. Another one in the 30s.
Two dumpster
Tell
fires.
me, tell me how you like this one.
Two dumpster fires going at it. Which dumpster do you like the best here? That one on the left rolls a little bit better than the one on the right. Look, I'm taking coaching staff. I'm taking New York Giants. I'm taking our best foot forward here. No toes, puns intended. I'm taking the Giants here. Taking the Giants getting 2 points. I'm going to take the under in the 37 and a half. I'm going to take the under here. Who knows what the hell's going on in the Raiders? Little side note though, if you wanted a little bit of bulletin board material, you thought when you seen Darren Waller on the Giants, you marked this day on the calendar that they were going to play together. It didn't end up happening. Darren Waller is listed as out for this game. He will not play against the Raiders. So he will not go up against his head coach who traded him.
Which is no
But
longer
and
there.
but if you dig a little bit deeper, the story on this game is not that the coach of the Raiders won't be going up against the tight end of the Giants. It'll be more along the lines of an old middle linebacker from the New York Giants, Antonio Pierce, is the interim head coach of the Raiders. So this is going to be a very interesting game here to see
Plot twist.
what this ex Giant linebacker could do at head coach. I know he commanded that defense in '07 for us to win a Super Bowl. So he played in a pivotal role in the Giants winning in '07. So it'll be an interesting Raiders game to watch here against the New York Giants. And, obviously, the last time we seen these guys, the Raiders, the Giants won 23-16. So how about you, Chuck?
For this one, I think it's a pretty easy call for me. I'm going Giants. You're getting Daniel Jones back. The defense has played very well over the
Let's
past
go,
3 weeks,
DJ.
holding opponents under 20 points. You couple DJ I think the offensive line has finally figured it out good enough because Tyrod Taylor has put up some decent numbers in the previous weeks before getting injured last week against the Jets. And then you got Saquon, who's a little chipped up too, but looks like he's a full practice today. Today being Friday, so I think he'll be a go. Um, I like this 27-20. I think there's actually going to be a little bit of fireworks here. I think both teams are going to make some plays. I like the fact that the Raiders are rolling with Aiden O'Connell. Somebody get Jimmy Garoppolo a blazer, put him in the booth next to Tony Romo, let him call plays. He ain't got it. He ain't
I
got it.
agree.
He never had it.
I
I don't
agree.
feel like he's always been in really good situations in New England and in San Francisco to where it's protected his flaws. Those passes he missed to Devontae Adams last week was a complete disgrace for the QB position, in my opinion. Also, a little tidbit: Jalen Hyatt scores a touchdown this week,
Hey,
so
start him if you got him.
I got the G man. That brings us to the 8 o'clock game, which is probably one of if not the biggest games of the week. Cowboys at Eagles. Eagles dropping three, 46 on the total and over under. The winner here is going to be putting themselves in a very good position at the halfway point for the NFC conference title. Obviously, there's still a lot more football to be played, but the Eagles end up winning this one. They're going to be a full 2.5 to 3 games better than the Niners. Obviously, they'll have the tiebreaker over the Cowboys and be a couple of games ahead of them. The Cowboys, on the other hand, will just be a half game back of Philly if they were able to win this. And that puts them in a better position to stay on top of San Fran after their recent struggles. Obviously, San Fran owning the tiebreaker there. So this is a massive game in the NFC for the
Huge.
Powers.
Huge.
How do you like this one playing out?
Absolutely massive. This game's huge. This is a huge game. If you're a Dallas fan, this is a huge game. If you're an Eagle fan, um, do you play into Dallas keeping a lid on things over there, being very quiet when spoken about and asked about Philadelphia? Not even Jerry Jones wanted to come out of his mouth and say anything disrespectful to give Philly any more ammo than they already had. He bit his lip first time ever,
Smart,
and didn't
smart.
and didn't and didn't give anybody anything. I mean, other than the coach saying when they asked about Philly, and he said it's a special place to play, and they asked why, and he said because of how friendly the fans are. Do you think even by saying that, the nicest thing you could have said was the wrong thing to say?
I'll say this, being humble is a learned skill. I don't think you're
No doubt.
born with that.
No
I
doubt.
don't think we're born with it as human beings. So that's a step in the right direction for everybody on the Cowboys roster.
But
And
do you think that by the coach saying that in particular, it's a
I'd
special
rather my
place?
I'd rather the leader of my team, the head coach, say something. If it had to be something, and that's a very small thing when you're talking about the fans, um, no, I don't mind it. I'd rather it be the leader of my football team than it be my quarterback or my running back or my defensive end
Yeah,
on a podcast somewhere.
no doubt.
Uh, so I'd rather him say that, and that's the least disrespectful you could be. This is a rivalry. You
Yeah,
you can't be too overly nice. Like
yeah.
it's a rivalry.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead here. I mean, you got a laundry list of injuries. It looks like on both sides of the ball here, you have an absolute laundry list of
We
both
talk about
sides here. So I mean, everybody's chipped up. I think they get no, they don't get Tyron Smith back. I thought no, he's questionable. And Cam Jurgens chip. You got a lot of guys that are chipped up for the Eagles. That are
for
on
that
IR, that
position.
are out this game. Things of that nature. But these are two championship teams here. Rosters are deep. The rotation is deep. I seen a couple days ago, or maybe even a week ago, the Eagles signed Julio Jones to the roster. Did not know that, but we know that now. Taking a gander at transactions, just
Last week he was on the field for him.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting that they go ahead and sign him. But let's just get down to brass tacks here, folks. I'm going to Philadelphia Eagles here. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the Eagles giving up the 3.
I think the point spread being at 3 is pretty darn accurate. I like this one 35-30 Cowboys though. I think we're going to get a lot of points here.
You think over? Okay.
It's tough. It's really tough. It's really tough because I like what the Cowboys offense I feel like are going to be able to do against the Philadelphia secondary. Even though the acquisition of Kevin Byard from the Titans was excellent in my eyes, another all-star move by them in acquiring him from the Titans. But I think the Cowboys have a lot of weapons to throw the ball. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball against the Philly front. But I think that's okay because I think Dak has finally started to find his footing in that offense, and CeeDee Lamb is a legit problem. And he usually has a pretty good game against Philly as well. He's not somebody that Darius Slay is really going to lock up with because he's played the slot primarily.
Yeah.
So that can be troublesome for him. But then on the other side, it's the Philly's going to be able to keep it close because those short yardage situations they're going to convert, whether it's in the red zone, whether it's the 4th and 1s or the need to get a little bit into field goal range. Like I can almost guarantee on a game by game basis that Philadelphia is going to convert on those situations. Um, and that's going to be tough, and I think that's going to help keep the game close. The Dallas defense, I think they're going to be able to get to Hurts. I think they're going to cause some problem with the Philly running game as well. But I think this is going to be a nip and tuck, back and forth type of situation. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles win this. I think I was slightly leaning toward the Eagles at the beginning of the week, and I kind of flopped back over to the Cowboys. So I'll stick with the Cowboys now. But this is just one that I just really, really want to watch, and
Oh
I do
yeah.
think there's going to be some fireworks in this one. I think it
Oh
does
yeah.
go. That's probably my best bet on this game, as
Oh yeah.
opposed to picking it.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Last
That
time
brings us. Oh, go ahead.
last
What you
time
got?
these two teams met, Dallas won 40-34. December 24th, 2022.
No Jalen Hurts though for that game. I believe. I believe that was Gardner Minshew going up against the Cowboys. And then the previous matchup that same year, it was the Cowboys backup going against Jalen Hurts, and the Eagles were victorious. So both teams at full strength. It should be a special one. Um, Going to the 8 o'clock game, Sunday night football. This is the Hamlin game from last year. This is Buffalo at Bengals.
The rematch.
Bengals dropping 2, and the over under set it healthy finally 49.5. How you see this one playing off?
To
Bengals obviously hot over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, yeah. To be honest, bro, I'm predicting they finish this game.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, I'm taking Bills here, +2, and I'm gonna take the over in the 49.5. Because
Nice.
listen, man, because I think that if at the end of the day, if Buffalo, right, is trying to get to where they're trying to go, they need to they need to win this. It has to start here, and you got to go on the run here, and you just got to start winning. You know what I'm saying? Because Miami's in front of you. You want to be in front of Miami. So you want to win this. You want to win again. You want to keep winning. And you want to make a statement here. And I feel like
Absolutely.
this has to be the put your foot down game for Buffalo. But at the same time, Cincinnati's 2 games back. So this is going to be an emotional, fiery game for both teams because this is a must need to have to, no questions asked, win this game on both ends of the ball. Joe Mixon's questionable. He's a little chipped up. Maybe we see another running
Taz.
back potentially here in this game. I don't know, but I'm going Buffalo here. I'm taking Buffalo +2. And I'm going to take the over.
I didn't expect you to go Bills. I thought you were going to go Bengals. I feel the same exact way that you feel about it. I like
It's a
Buffalo in
must for
this
both
game.
teams,
It is a must for
but
both
you have to
teams.
pick one.
Agreed, agreed. I feel good about Buffalo though, although they still probably have a bad taste in their mouth from the outright beatdown at home in the playoffs that the Bengals put on them from last year. I think both defenses are going to play strong in this one. I'm kind of expecting a lot of field goals, actually. I think I'm leaning under on this game. Um, Low key, very big acquisition in my book for Buffalo, grabbing Rasul Douglas from the Green Bay Packers at corner. That's a dude that I've always been a fan of. Not a shiny player, but he's a dude that you can count on. He's versatile. He can play slot and outside. Obviously, the Bills lost Davis White early in the season. I
Huge.
think that was a big time pickup for them right there at the trade deadline. Um, and yeah, I think at the end of the day, the Bills end up pulling this one out. Even if I was taking the Bengals, I definitely wouldn't drop the two because I think this is like a field goal game. But I think Buffalo finds a way to pull this one out, and that's what I got.
No doubt. Yeah, the last time these two teams met was in 2003, January.